Welcome back to Karsten Uncut. Today's episode, you wanted too much. Probably one of the harshest feedbacks that you can possibly get. And you would wonder, why would anybody ever want to give you that feedback? Well, because it can be that in a moment of your career, you just want something so much that you work so hard in order to achieve it that maybe you're missing some very, very important things on the side. You get into a sort of tunnel vision. You just focus on your goal and you forget what also is important in order to make you successful. Because just the result alone might not be able to cut it for you. And this is exactly what happened to me once. So, little moment and flashback in time. I was working at a very nice company, working very, very hard in a super competitive field, doing very, very complicated deals with our customers. And typically those bets that everybody would say, you will never make it. I was very successful. I loved what I was doing. I got really good results. And then a promotion time came up and I wasn't the chosen one. And I could not understand why. Why was it not me? And I got, of course, as you can imagine, really upset about it. So I asked for a meeting with my manager and we had a very nice dinner. And then he said it to me, man, you do a really good job and everybody sees it. You have extraordinary results and everybody sees it as well. But you know what? You leave so many casualties on your way. You annoy so many people by just being so hyper intense that there is a real big fear of promoting you to the next level. In short, you wanted too much. You can imagine that was a moment in which I had to take a little bit deeper breath. And I was like, okay. But he gave me some very good examples. I have to say it was not just this one comment and then see what you do with it. There was really some very good additional feedback to it. So what did I do? I started to think about it a little bit more. First of all, of course, I had to digest. But then I thought about it a little bit more. And I said, okay, what could I really do different? So I started to listen a little bit more. Make sure that I also get somebody else's viewpoint. Maybe there's something good to it, right? That is something I would always recommend. Listen to the other people first. Understand their why. Always comes back to this wonderful one-word question, why? So what is their why? Why do they say they want to do it in a certain way or they don't want to do something? Understand that. Work with them on it. Bring them along the way. Lead by leading and not by pushing. So I reduced also my intensity a little bit, which did actually, funny enough, not impact at all my results. So it was actually a win-win. It was a win for my environment because I was less intense and was more inclusive and everything. But also it was a win for me because all of a sudden I was a little bit less stressed. I was a little bit less anxious. And you will be amazed how all of a sudden, by really bringing people along and by actually leading and not just winning, I was being viewed slightly differently. Not only slightly differently, I was viewed very differently by the leadership. And then all of a sudden, good things happened. So what is the morale of the story? The morale of the story is that usually in today's world especially, we all thrive for the positive feedback. We thrive for the likes, the love, the huggies and whatever else on all sorts of social media. Likes are what gives us fuel. Yeah, it gives you fuel to continue what you're doing, but it doesn't tell you what you might want to change. So if you get harsh feedback or steeper feedback or anyhow feedback that is not positive, the first thing you should really do is say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to become better, because that's actually what they do. They give you an opportunity to improve, and you do not know, maybe it's the last opportunity they give you before they walk away from you. And that is true for you personally, that's true for you business, that is true for any business. Right? When people say, oh yeah, you can file a complaint, I'm very happy to do that when I do see a positive feedback in the sense of, hey, I understand what you're saying, you're right, we didn't do something right, and here is maybe compensation. And by the way, thanks for highlighting it to us. that is a moment where I appreciate it. When I understand that companies do not really want feedback, it's just you right into a black hole, then I don't do it. So harsh feedback is your biggest gift. Would be curious to hear a little bit more. What was your feedback moment that really changed your life? Because for me, there was a before and an after, and I just wanted to say thank you, Chris Hallenbeck, for doing this to me at this moment, because you really changed my life and clearly made me a better person and a better professional. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to hear from you. Looking forward to the next episode. Thank you.